Good evening and welcome to the campus of UW-Whitewater. I'm your host Alex Monty and alongside me today is Kyler Pfaff. We ask you to please excuse our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. Today we will be discussing everything to do with the greatest moments in sports history. Let's get right into it. To finish off this semester of PEOMIOSFYRDS, we will be looking throughout the history of sports and the unforgettable moments that go along with it. To start off, what were the best moments in NFL history?
Yeah, so for me, I'm biased. One of the best moments for me would definitely be Devin Hester's return touchdown in the 2007 or 2008 Super Bowl against the Colts. That one was definitely, embracing for me because I'm a huge Bears fan, and that kind of, set the standard for the rest of that game. Obviously, it did not turn out to be that way because Peyton Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, and Tony Dungy actually became the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl. So, obviously I wasn't, too upset with that kind of stat line, but obviously as a Bears fan, I really wanted us to win. But I would definitely have to have that as one of my favorite moments of all time.
Yeah, that's definitely a great choice there. I feel like some other notable moments, you look at the Titans back in, I believe it was 2000, they have two back-to-back, one of them being the Music City Miracle against the Buffalo Bills. It was quite the, somewhat controversial call, but also the right one. I was watching it a lot last night, and it seems it was indeed a lateral pass, not a forward. I know even the announcers, they did like a 180 on it, like they first thought it's illegal, but then they realized, oh, well, maybe it's not. It seems like it was enough. It wasn't enough to overturn. Ended up being a dramatic and miraculous win for the Titans, but unfortunately luck had dried out by that point because then when facing the Rams in the Super Bowl, they ended up coming 1 yard short. Both of those plays, interestingly enough, both with Kevin Dyson as the man with the ball.
Yeah, and I would want to talk about Tom Brady's epic comeback as being another memorable moment in NFL history. So obviously, that was against the Falcons. The Patriots were losing 28-3 in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, Tom Brady decides to take over the game completely and gets 19 points for them, and then when the first game in Super Bowl history to go in overtime, and then obviously James White was the key player to that win as he had two late, rushing touchdowns, one being a 2-point conversion. So that was definitely one of the most memorable moments in my eyes that I've seen. Definitely in the Super Bowl, probably the best Super Bowl moment of all time. Yeah,
no, truly something to witness, something miraculous. And I mean, the Falcons still get made fun of for blowing that 28-3 lead even on March 28th, being that same date, 3/28. And I feel like the running back, he really should have gotten the MVP for that aforementioned great performance. Some other notable plays, playoff Minneapolis Miracle, true and dear to my heart. My dad is a Vikings fan, so I've definitely seen the joy and enthusiasm that comes from that play. It was truly something remarkable, one of Joe Buck's most exciting calls down the sideline against the New Orleans Saints. The Ice Bowl would be another one, which is said to be the coldest game. I believe was -13 degrees, -36 with wind chill. That was an NFL title between the Packers and the Cowboys. But there's also another very cold game, in which was the Freezer Bowl. That was the Chargers and Cincinnati Bengals. That was, I believe, 59 degrees below zero with the wind chill, but it was only -9. Without wind chill. That was AFC championship game, and coming off the Epic in Miami, it was definitely hard to transition for such a West Coast team.
Yeah, a few more memorable moments I'd like to quickly touch base on for the NFL. I definitely believe that the Immaculate Reception by Franco Harris, actually in the first year of Franco Harris's career, he had that Immaculate Reception and went on to score the long touchdown. That play is arguably talked about the most. It's still in controversy to this day if that ball actually hit the ground or not, but it still is one of the best plays that we've ever seen.
I believe he caught it. Next up, we will discuss the best moments in NBA history. Stay tuned for more on UWW TV.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a Warhawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a Warhawk.
At UW-Whitewater.
You belong here!
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
The UW Whitewater Bookstore is your one-stop shop for apparel, textbooks, and technology. Stop in for a wide selection of gifts from our alumni, family, and name brand sections. Need to purchase or rent a textbook? Head downstairs to Textbook Services. Check out our new custom shop and create personalized apparel for your organization. Need a charger, laptop, or headphones? Our new technology section has everything you might need. For more information and bookstore hours, visit uwwhitewaterbookstore.com.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that off. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes. Yes.
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Welcome back to Please Excuse Our Momentary Interruption of Sports from your regular daily schedule. To continue on where we left off, what are the best moments in NBA history?
Yeah, so definitely not in any order specifically, but you probably would have to say Michael Jordan's the shot he made against the Cavaliers in the 1989 playoffs. This was when Michael Jordan was really starting to establish himself in the NBA. He ended up dropping 54 points and got 14 rebounds that game. And after hitting the game-winning shot, he showed how competitive he was, his spirit, how he was throwing his fists around and just really hyped for his team. But some facts behind that is that everybody counted the Bulls out of that round and that they were actually going to get swept. So it definitely made it more memorable because he was the one who led that entire team over victory over the Cavs, and I definitely consider that one of the best moments. But also you can say the shot in the 1998 NBA Finals where he hit it over Utah Jazz, and that was for his last Bulls in the Bulls uniform. That was his last shot he took, and then obviously they ended up winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you talk iconic, you really can't get much more iconic than Jordan moments, such as the shot, flu game, things like that. But of course, there are other icons such as LeBron James, the chase down, the block on Iguodala against the Golden State Warriors in the finals. Obviously, that just really changed the entire game. That was like such a defining moment, such a defining defensive moment, and just something that's really lived past that moment. Another moment is the Rock the Baby dunk by Dr. J. Julius Erving. I believe that is, quite frankly, one of the most beautiful dunks that has ever happened. I mean, it's just truly poetry in motion when you really go back and watch it. I mean, just the way they just swings it around. It's just such a fluid act. It's like water. It's an amazing thing to really witness.
Yeah, it was definitely poetry in motion, and that's like, you know, Dr. Dre was somebody that Michael Jordan, you know, looked up to, the flashiness, the dunks, the high, you know, level of competition that he plays against. So it was definitely awesome to watch that. I also wanted to point out for Dr. J, the baseline reverse layup that he had against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the most iconic shots ever filmed for the NBA. So that was another thing I'd like to praise Dr. J on. Another one would probably have to be the flu game done by Michael Jordan. This was during, you know, the finals in 1997. So it was a year before the final shot he had, but basically they call it the flu game when he actually had food poisoning from some pizza that was definitely tampered with. You know, obviously the facts aren't proven to be, but it was most likely done because the Jazz really wanted to win that game. But Michael Jordan ended up scoring 38 points and leading the Bulls to victory.
And nothing could really stop him. Let's transition to the best moments in MLB history that define the sport for what it is today. Obviously, you really wouldn't be anywhere without mentioning Jackie Robinson in his grand debut with the then Brooklyn Dodgers. Obviously, that just changed the entire complexion of the baseball world and really the country as a whole. It was such a defining, historic moment. There's been movies and stories written about it. I mean, this is truly the stuff of legend, and just the impact he had not only on the game, but obviously on a culture entirely. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and he was really the one that helped push the civil rights movement that happened in the 50s. You know, Jackie Robinson is, you know, by far and he's the only one who in the entire MLB history has his number retired by all MLB teams. So that just shows how significant that was of, you know, Jackie Robinson coming to play in a major, you know, white-orientated league such as baseball. So it was definitely one of the best moments probably ever. And then I would say Babe Ruth being sold to the Yankees from the Red Sox has to be one of the best moments of all time too, because without that transaction you would never have the greatness, the rings, the called shot, which is another memorable moment that Babe Ruth did. Supposedly, you know, pointed to left center field, and then the next pitch he ended up hitting a home run. And this was in the World Series, so it was kind of it was even bigger splash. You know, if he did that in a regular game, it probably wouldn't have mattered, but he actually did it at the top stage, and that's why that has to be one of the best moments of all time.
And speaking of big stage, World Series, Don Larsen's no-hitter with the Yankees is one of the only no-hitters in World Series and playoff history in the MLB. I mean, it's just such an iconic moment after the game. Yogi Berra, the catcher for him, just jumping into his arms afterwards, celebrating the great victory, is truly astonishing. And not only was it a no-hitter, but it was a perfecto of a game as well.
Yeah, another great MLB moment would be Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, hitting 3 home runs in the World Series game in 1977. Some facts behind that was that, you know, that was actually a 15-year drought, title drought for the New York Yankees, and, you know, Reggie Jackson was able to persevere through all the negativity that was, you know, being lashed at him. Ended up hitting 3 home runs, a record that still stands to this day in the World Series, and that's how he got the name Mr. October.
Yeah, and you talk about droughts, obviously there's not a greater one than the Cubs' 108-year drought with the World Series, and so when they were able to win that, it was truly just an astonishing moment. I remember it rained after that, and some said that it was Cubs fans who had passed away before the game the World Series had been reattained, just crying tears of joy. It's such a magical moment in baseball. Next, we will be giving the best sports moments within the year. You're watching PEOMIOSFYRDS here on UWW-TV.
I didn't even read
You know what I mean?
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project. And it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and oh, they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
CREW is a faith-based organization for UW-Whitewater students. Their mission? To create an inclusive Christian community for students looking to explore or grow their faiths.
For me specifically, it's been amazing to just have people to walk alongside with my Christian journey on.
They always say to go and experience new things while you're at college, and I think this is just another one of those things that you should experience.
CREW welcomes all students and is held at Summers Auditorium on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Come join our crew.
The PB Poorman Pride Center is the place to go for LGBTQ+ resources, information, and community. Located in the Warhawk Connection Center, while there, you can meet people like Mia.
And I served Impact as president this fall, as well as working for the Pride Center. Impact is our queer LGBTQ+ and ally organization on campus. We meet once a week, and we do a lot of social events as well as education events.
It feels like I'm way more accepted here than when I was in high school. It is like a really big family.
Along with acceptance, in the Pride Center you can find a little library, a clothing closet, and a satellite location of the Warhawk Food Pantry.
It just feels like a home to me. You know, it feels like my home away from home, and there's such a community here that is so wonderful and full of joy.
For more information, follow the Pride Center on Instagram at UWW_PRC.
Welcome back to the show. Alongside Kyler Foff, I'm Alex Monty. The semester of PEOMIOSFYRDS is almost over, so to finish off the semester, let's take one more look at the best sports moments within this past year.
Yeah, so obviously I believe the most memorable would be Aaron Judge writing his name in history, becoming the Yankees leader in home runs in a year, having 62. This is obviously, you know, a huge accomplishment. Getting 50 home runs is very impressive in Major League Baseball, let alone 62. Aaron Judge, hopefully, you know, can get his team back on track next year. You know, obviously they fell short in the playoffs. They obviously need to, you know, play better down the road. They need to play better on the road, and hopefully, you know, in the meantime, they'll be able to win a championship with Giancarlo Stanton and all them talented ball players.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, 62 home runs is just truly incredible. 60-plus home runs was thought to maybe not even be possible to do again. I mean, especially within the declining offense of these past few MLB seasons. But I mean, even with how down it was last year, Aaron Judge was still able to accomplish this. Speaking of home run records, Albert Pujols joined the 700 club, having hit his 700, putting him with the likes of, well, third or fourth, depending on if you believe the asterisks or not. But obviously still just a great accomplishment. Who knows if maybe if he'd stuck with the Cardinals, maybe could have done even more, done greater than his little stint out in LA. But just one of those hypothetical what ifs we can only ponder.
Another memorable moment, probably of all time, to be honest with you, is the Justin Jefferson catch against the Bills. To me, in my eyes, that is way better than the Odell Beckham catch that he had in the corner. This one was, I believe it was fourth down, and everything was on the line, and he goes up and grabs it basically from the defender, one-handed, falling down. Greatest catch you'll ever see. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest that you do that, and maybe you'll agree with me that it is the greatest catch you'll ever see. And that was in the past years. So Justin Jefferson has been one of the best players in the league, and he just exceeds expectations every time he goes on that field.
Yeah, he really is just the greatest catch of all time. It's hard to dispute that. I mean, obviously you said with the Odell, it really just pales in comparison because both are one-handed catches, but one's contested, one's 4th and 18, and he converts it. It's just something phenomenal that you really don't see every day, or really in a lifetime perhaps. Another very big moment, I believe, was Messi winning the World Cup. Obviously he has so many accolades already, but this is truly a crowning achievement above all else, the greatest world competition you really can ask for and the biggest stage that there is to play upon and win.
A few more things to mention just before we get out of here would be, obviously Tom Brady's retirement. We had Serena Williams' retirement, and then also Roger Federer retires. So those are 3 GOATs basically right there. All of them, play exceptionally well, and everybody's going to miss them. So I definitely would like to have that as one of the best sports moments of the past year.
Yeah, definitely be bringing in a new regime after all that turnover. When we come back, we'll present our final thoughts for this week's episode. Stay tuned.
What does it mean to be a Warhawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a Warhawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
Here at UWW, we put a lot of emphasis on shaping your involvement. Involvement helps you get to know more people with similar values and goals as yourself. The Student Involvement Office can help you get involved with organizations on campus, or we can help you start a brand new one. So what are you waiting for? It's time to shape your involvement at UWW. If you'd like to learn more, stop by UC 127 or contact us at involvement@uww.edu or call 262-472-6217.
Welcome back to PEOMIOSFYRDS. Let's wrap it up by talking about our final thoughts from today's episode.
Yeah, so I'd like to start off by talking about some memorable moments that might have been missed. I would definitely like to include James Harrison return touchdown against the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. Actually the same game I would consider the second best catch of all time would be Santonio Holmes' corner of the end zone toe tap, which was for the game. So that was kind of, in regards to like how much was on the line, how it changed the game in every aspect. I definitely would have to consider that one of the best of all time, probably second best just because of Justin Jefferson's insane catch this year. Another memorable moment I'd like to mention would be Ray Allen getting the corner 3 against the Spurs, Miami Heat series. Yeah, that was definitely, I was younger and I was getting into basketball during that time, and it was one of the coolest things you could ever see. That game actually went into overtime. Miami Heat won it, and then Miami ended up winning it in Game 7 against San Antonio. So that was definitely have to be a memorable moment for sure. Another one I'd like to mention would be Kobe Bryant's 81-point game against the Raptors. This was after Shaq left and nobody thought that Kobe could actually do it by himself, and he silenced all the haters and he proved that he was actually the Black Mamba and the Stone Cold Assassin.
Yeah, and a couple I'd like to mention, the Las Vegas Lateral happened this year. That was quite a humorous event in which the Patriots just threw the ball to Chandler Jones and he planted Mac Jones into the ground for the touchdown. Another, the Randy Johnson pitch that hit the bird. The chances of that ever happening again are slim to none. And then personally, the greatest Charger game ever played was the Epic in Miami 1981 divisional round. So that was truly Kellen Winslow, greatest game he ever played, blocked field goal and everything. That will do it for us here tonight. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time to hear more hot takes all around the world of sports. This has been Please Excuse Our Momentary Interruption of Sports from your regular daily schedule on UWW TV.